Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape,
vinyl tape, carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneurial Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham. Listen, it is always a pleasure to have this young lady on the platform. I've known her for some time. We've been trying to facilitate working together, collaborating. So maybe we will just do that. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about what she's been up to since that time. It's been about, 5-6 years?
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
All right, so Trish, welcome to the platform. Talk to us. What is going on in your world, in your life? What's going on?
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me, Kevin, on Entrepreneurial Enclave. I'm so excited. Absolutely. Hello, everybody out there.
Yes, get excited, girlfriend. Talk to me. What's going on?
I am excited. I'm Trisha Williams of IreeSky, which is the name of my company. And what we do is, I'm an author.
Yes.
So I've written 17 books.
Yes.
And I've edited 176 for others to become published authors.
Yes.
And now I have been retained to facilitate life skills at IREESky Incorporated.
Yes.
So I use my books. My books are basically about avoiding common urban pitfalls.
Yes.
Such as gang recruitment and drugs and murder and all the stuff we deal with here in Trenton and every other urban community.
Well, slow up first. I mean, because that's jumping into the juicy part. Let's not get into that yet.
Sorry.
Man. So, I mean, because once you get into that, I'm going to say, text me your headshot and your bio, because we're done. So
that's basically it.
We've got to build up, because I want folks to know, how did you get started down this path, right? You just didn't wake up one morning and say, okay, I'm a book author, I want to edit, how did you
Absolutely
start?
not.
How did you find your entrepreneurial passion? When did it hit you that, hey, I've got something here?
Well, it was after I had written two books and a stage play, Flawless.
Yes.
And I realized that I had a lot more to say trying to save the youth of Trenton, because I had been going to funerals for people under 30 every month.
Wow.
And it was becoming discouraging. So I'm trying to reach them. I'm trying to reach them with fiction, first of all. These characters that I write about are all broken, and the landmarks that I use are Trenton. So all the books are based in Trenton with fictional characters that are going through something.
Yes.
And the best part is they're very relatable, because we all go through these things that I'm writing about: generational curses and stalking and exes. And I think it's a very powerful platform. And I think IREESky does too, because to avoid these common urban pitfalls, we need to get them reading.
Yes.
So what I do is go in and read a portion of the book, which gets them lit, that ignites it. And then they finish reading themselves, and they tell me how, which character they related to. And they also tell me alternate endings, how they would have handled something if they were faced with similar circumstances.
Okay.
So how I got started basically was I'm a domestic violence survivor.
Yes.
And 5 of my books are dedicated to domestic violence. So
Yes.
it took a toll on me because I had to have brain surgery to relieve some of the symptoms. And after brain surgery, I just felt like writing.
Time out.
Okay. Sorry.
No, wait, hold up. Wait. Listen to me. I don't mean to make fun of domestic violence because I'm not. But
Mm-hmm.
but you're like the 5th woman that I've spoken to.
Wow.
That has had some type of brain injury. So I mean, it becomes that severe that somebody's beating up on your head like that.
Well, Kevin, the part that really surprises everybody is this happened to me in 96.
Wow.
96, yes. And that was over 25 years ago. But see, a lot of people who are dealing with domestic violence now don't understand what can happen to you 25 years later.
Yes.
So now that I'm a woman of a certain age, I had to suffer with nerve damage, 85% nerve damage from something that happened 25 years ago. And I don't like to highlight that part. I like to highlight the fact that I survived and I can keep you from it.
Yeah, no. I get that. I respect that and I appreciate that. But I'm just, whoa.
Yeah.
So
brain surgery.
So
yep.
let me ask this question. Let me ask this question, right? Because they say this now on Facebook and on social media. When you were going through this process with your mate at that time, were there any significant red flags that were like bigger than others that say, you know what, I need to get out of this, I need to get some help, I need to get some support?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
The isolation.
Okay.
He isolated me. I isolated me from my friends and my family.
Yes.
And we were only to do things with his family.
Wow.
And the isolation, I didn't realize I was being cornered and isolated away from my family because I thought I was falling in love. I thought we were spending time together. I thought we were getting to know each other. And the biggest red flag was I wasn't really allowed to venture out and see my friends and family. And I had a big family. I was a pretty popular girl.
Yes.
I was a cheerleader. You know, I had a lot of friends and I was young. So he was 10 years my senior at the time. And the part that really, really made it vague for me, it was vague, this vague thing. And I was so naive not to notice this big red flag was that we were spending all the time with his children and his family. And I wasn't really able to go anywhere else. I wanted to be with him everywhere, but I didn't realize I was being isolated.
Gotcha.
Once they can isolate you, they can manipulate your mind if you have low self-esteem, which at the time I did.
Got you. Okay.
Yep. It's like brainwashing. It's like being in a cult.
Yes. So we fast forward, and you've got to have surgery.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If I may ask, how did you have to have surgery? Because it became that violent at some point?
Yeah.
Wow.
It became that violent at some point, and I did leave for good.
Yes.
And with the help of my brother and my mother, I was able to get out for good.
Yes.
The problem is my diagnosis is peripheral neuropathy.
Yes.
That's considerable, extreme nerve damage.
Okay.
Some people call it Charcot-Marie tooth. The problem was, Kevin, was that, excuse me, it didn't occur to me that something traumatic had happened to me physically until 2009.
Wow.
So my feet were hurting, and it was beyond their expertise, the people who do orthopedic surgery and all those other things. Anything with nerve is different from things that heal. For example, muscle, you can fix tendon, you can fix bone, but you cannot heal nerve. You can only treat nerve.
Yes.
So when I went to all these other doctors, I was misdiagnosed with all these other things like tarsal tunnel syndrome. My feet were hurting so bad, I couldn't figure it out. As soon as I went to see an orthopedic surgeon, he said, "This is beyond my expertise. I'm sending you to a neurologist." So I went next door to his neurologist, his friend, and that's when I got diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy. I had never heard of it. when you think of neuropathy, you think of diabetes. I'm not diabetic. So he said, something traumatic had to happen to you. I said, yeah, but it was so long ago. And I told him what happened to me. Yes, I was dragged down a flight of steps. Metal. Yeah, metal steps. Yep. So after, I mean, nobody likes thinking about that. I did eventually get out and started building my own self-esteem. I had gone to college. He just wanted me to be with him and him only and do what he wanted to do. Yes. But God gave me beauty for ashes when I left him and pursued writing. Yes. So after I wrote the first couple books, I realized that, I'm having problems with my feet. So I started using a power chair.
But Trish, what I'm saying to you, why did you start writing a book? Was it like this burning desire in you to say you needed to write a book?
Well, I have always been a writer. Okay, I have always been interested. I read very early, and I'm a reader and won a lot of spelling bees, and writing. I had written after this my first book a long time ago. Yes. And we had a horrible fire. And I lost everything, and it was like on paper. So I had to rewrite after this, which is about a young lady jumping relationships. She's jumping from man to man, and that's not healthy. Yes. Which is a lot of problems in the urban community stem from not dating yourself. You got to date yourself to build up a standard by which you can stick to, and you'll choose a better mate for yourself when you're ready, and if you want one. Yes. So that book was already written 10 years prior, and I redid the book. Okay. And after that, it just took off. I've written 3 stage plays, and the 12 books that are credited to me that I have actually written are about the avoiding of common urban pitfalls. The other books are dedicated to domestic violence. So I take stories of other survivors as vice president of Purple High Tops, and we put them together in a collaboration to it was started out as a fundraising effort. Yes. So we don't keep the proceeds of those hidden treasures volumes.
Now, when you came, well, first of all, thank you for being a strong survivor. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank God.
Absolutely. But my question is, so once you became a survivor, right? How did you go about attracting other women to share their story? How were you able to share your story? Was that cathartic for you to share your story as a part of the healing process from the trauma?
Oh, absolutely. There's healing in it, and I would advise anyone who has gone through any level of not just physical abuse but emotional abuse, yes, where they try to control your mind, yes, and physically hurt you, to seek counseling. Yes. I had post-traumatic stress disorder, which I had counseling for after that incident, but how I got to collaborate with other people who have survived was that I could spot it anywhere.
Got you.
I could spot it anywhere, Kevin. It's so easy for me to see now. Gotcha. That somebody's being isolated, that somebody's being controlled, that somebody's snooping through your phones and telling you who to call and who not to call and deleting your messages. Yes. I could spot it anywhere, and I have 2 daughters, and I keep them from it as much as I can. I understand they have to have their own experiences, but I could spot it so easily. So a group of us have gotten together with Purple High Tops and Stilettos, which is an online Facebook group. Yes. And I joined, and she immediately heard my story. She immediately made me vice president, and we've been there as a resource to direct people who need help, yes, and to provide, prevention and awareness, and collaborate with the other mainstream women's services like Women's Space and Women Against Abuse in Philly and Sophia in the North to keep you from it. Yes. So, and if you have an emergency, you need to go. We try to find the fundraising money so that the money could be there if you need to Uber, if you need to fly, if you need to catch a train to get away from your abuser. Wow. So resources, prevention, and awareness is key. Now, once it's identified,
Now, let me ask this personal question, right?
Okay.
And maybe it's personal and maybe it's general, right? While you're going through this abuse, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are there other people who see it but you can't see it, that might be saying to you, girlfriend, you need to get out. This is not feeling good for you.
That is such a good question, Kevin. I didn't see it. I did not see it. I did not see it. I was brainwashed by the time. He had me by the time the first blow came. So this was a manipulative, you know how they say it's a sucker born every minute? Well, everybody saw it but me. Everybody saw the isolation but me. So, and then we think we're clever by hiding it or making excuses for the person.
Got you.
Oh, he's just had a bad day, or he's just, not in a good mood. Yeah. Whereas everybody looking at you like, look, I love you and this is stupid because I see what's going on here. But we actually think because we're brainwashed, we're pulling the eyes over our friends and family's eyes when they see it so clearly. I see it so clearly now. And then, I see it. I see it and I give warnings.
Now, while you were in this relationship, what were you doing professionally at that time?
I was going to school. I was going to college.
Oh, and but he wasn't trying to keep you away from that, though.
Actually, he did. He tried. Wow. He tried. Okay, gotcha. He tried. See, anything that took the place of him was a threat.
Yes.
There's things in my home that I had been noticing that were missing. Yes. Little adding machines, Game Boys, my typewriter. This is 90, before iPhones,
Yeah.
So my viola, which I had in my home and was engraved and given to me by my father, that was missing. And somebody told me it's down at the pawn shop.
What?
And I said, huh? So part of his problem was I caught him between recovery. Gotcha. Between the stages of recovery. So there was no way I could know he had an addiction because he was at his best. He was at his charming best.
Got you.
He's very popular, very charming, very handsome. And that spoke to my, the woman in me who wanted a actual husband.
Gotcha.
You see,
gotcha.
And the reason I stayed so long, Kevin, was because my first marriage had failed.
Got you.
And that was my high school sweetheart. He went in the Army. It was over before he even came home from basic.
Got you.
So I said, hell or high water, I'm going to make this thing work. And it didn't.
So you were staying because you thought that this was a form of pittance?
Yeah, it was internal for me. I took it very personal I took it very personally that first thing failed.
Gotcha.
So I was going to I took it internally as there must be something wrong with me.
Got you.
Let me stay in this, and this is how it's supposed to be. Plus, he had 10 years on me.
Got you.
He was 33 years old and was established in the community. So I thought that we make a good fit.
Yes.
And I'm going to stay no matter what because that first thing failed. Yes. Whereas I never dated me. I never took the time to get to know me and what I really wanted. I never, I needed more time with me. And the problem was I was so fascinated by us or what he considered to be us is that's the way I thought it was supposed to be.
Now, when you're sharing your story, or when you're recalling the stories as you're writing, or when you're sharing it with other young ladies, what do you feel a connection to the past, or do you feel like your past was just a past? This is the new version of you.
Well, I just think God gives us beauty for ashes. And had I not gone through what I went through with that situation, I wouldn't be so aware now.
Got you.
I wouldn't be as aware. I wouldn't have anything to write, which is why I think all those books came out after, the brain surgery. I had a lot to say.
Yes.
But I just didn't know what platform to use to say it. I didn't want them all to be stage plays. I want to be able to reach people long after I leave this earth.
Yes.
And that's what writing does. It gives me a legacy by which people could read and see where my mind was at that time. Plus, I got better. When you know better, you do better. So from my first book to the last book, which is about generational curses, I have evolved. And I got better.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want people to read them all. I want people to read them all to get the lessons. It's a nice stream of income, extra income for me, but that's not why I do this. The purpose of this is to get them reading. Adult literacy is important to me. Yes. And as a preventive, you don't have to go through what I went through. So all this is fiction, but it's also a little bit of me in each book.
Got you. Now, have you forgiven yourself? Have you given yourself permission to move forward?
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the bomb. I love myself.
Gotcha.
But I know that my faith has propelled this. So my faith is what propelled IreeSky to continue to do what it's done, and why I feel good about doing it is because I'm not just doing it for me to feel better. I have felt better since the day I left them.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So, and a lot of women and people who are abused like to keep that inside, but I think it was healthy and healing for me to be able to tell what happened to me. It's probably happening to other people, and we're all in our individual houses keeping it inside.
To release.
A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but there's such healing in it with other people who have gone through it and said, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. And that isolation that they put us in will keep you in isolation and trying to be private, whereas you need to go ahead and tell that thing and get some healing out of it, because a lot of us go through it and nobody ever believes you. Nobody ever believes you. But for your own sanity and for your own healing, you need to express in counseling and with others who are among you who may have gone through it. So you don't feel like, oh my gosh, it wasn't just me. And a lot of times that's the problem. Like you're keeping it in and it's hurting you. But once you release that thing, there's a lot of healing in it, Kevin. So no, I don't feel any diminished capacity as far as my abilities. I feel like I'm a queen. I feel like God preserved me for this purpose, and I have a lot more to write about.
Yes.
But I'm glad I went through it. I mean, of course, I played my part in it.
Yeah.
You know, seeking something. There it is, seeking something, but there's no satisfaction until you seek yourself.
Yes.
So once you find yourself, then you decide. But there's absolutely people who are there, who are keeping it in, who doesn't understand that reflecting upon it, not the actual incident, but that time in your life, how sick-minded you were.
Yes.
Because I didn't make myself sick.
Yeah.
I just had, I didn't make myself sick. So this low self-esteem that I had stemmed from experiences before him, which is why he was able to target me.
Yes.
He wouldn't have, if somebody who was the bomb at that time and felt good about themselves, he would never be able to manipulate them. But
now,
the person who did this to me spotted that I was weak-minded at that time.
Now, when you're sharing your story and you're doing these workshops, right, or facilitating these workshops, are there men and women in the classroom, or is it just women? Yes,
men and women, young people from 19 to 24, but we're not talking about abuse. We're talking about the things that they could prevent, choices and consequences. Okay. We do talk about abuse, but we haven't gotten to my actual story yet. But I do. Everywhere I go, I speak about it. I have no problem speaking about it. I'm trying to keep you from going from it, through it.
Because you would be surprised, right?
Mm-hmm.
The low grade, the low level of abuse some of our women suffer while they're in high school.
Yeah. It's important, Kevin, to reach them prior to high school.
Yeah.
Because they need to identify the red flags. I need to show them the red flags before they even get there. Yeah. Because a lot of people think if he hits me, he loves me. And I'm talking about girls that are 13, 14 years old, not even allowed to date yet, are sneaking to see these boys, and these boys are getting rough with them.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say boys. People who they consider a mate is being rough with them, and they don't have the equipment to deal with that yet. So we're trying to reach them at 13, 14, 15 because high school is too late.
Yeah.
Some people go through it in college, but they didn't know what to look for all this time.
And you know what? You know what's so funny? And I'm going to use the word funny, not peculiar funny, but just funny, right?
Funny. Mm-hmm.
20 years ago, when you said your mate, get away from your mate, you were talking about someone of the opposite sex.
You were talking about somebody of the opposite sex.
But nowadays, you can't even say that. Your mate could be someone of the same sex, and that's like a whole nother level of what you have to of what you got to unpack, right? And so, but the other thing I wanted to say before I got back to that was, I think for such a long time, it's almost like Uncle Jimmy or Uncle Henry at the cookout, right? Who has been
at the cookout
sexually molesting you, but because the family is so strong in the community, you just
keep it in the house.
You just circle around Uncle Jimmy or Uncle Henry, and you're like, well, you know what? We only got to deal with this once a year, and he's going to be leaving in a few hours. I'm going to pack him a plate, and we never have to see him again until next year. But they don't know the trauma that you are suffering from, and so I am so thankful for you and all the other women that are standing up and say enough is enough. No more keeping the family secret a secret. So thank you.
You said a lot right there. You said a lot right there, Kevin. Yes, the secret is no longer. We used to say, well, what happens in the house stays in the house.
Yeah. That's family.
But
that's family.
You sitting there traumatized for 25 years and don't know what's wrong with you later. Yes. And we take it internally. We do, and blame ourselves because nobody got us help, and it was the family secret, and nobody was allowed to express what was going on in the house out the house. But no more. Just like Tana Buck said, no more. It's important because something happened to her when she was 3.
Yeah.
And she's wondering what the heck is wrong with me? Why am I so angry at 16 and 20 and 25?
Yes.
The trauma is something that happens to each of us in our own way.
Yes.
And I know they're talking about it now like, that wasn't traumatic. No, it wasn't traumatic for you. This was traumatic for me. It's an individual, very personal thing.
Yes.
And one of the things that I love that Tona says is that when she says no more, she's saying whatever you're traumatic, forget weighing which one it was or what was traumatic for you. Yes. Whatever trauma you feel, you dealt with, and you finally get to the root of why you're so angry or why you're so, the way you are, is because trauma itself, it changes your life or the path you currently are on to another whole path.
Yeah. Now,
and I love that about her. You're going on another path that wasn't intended for you.
Yeah, that's my girl, Tona. So I want to give a shout out to
my
Tona
girl.
And also a new young lady that I put those two in contact with is Kimberly Harris. She's doing great work out of Washington, D.C. So once this
shout out to Kimberly.
Yeah. So once this episode releases, I'm going to make sure all you women are together so you can support each other, right? But
that would be awesome.
But I want to ask this question before I ask another question.
Okay.
Now we teach home economics, right? Or they still used to, like how to cook, how to sew, right? How come we don't teach this?
I'm not the person to ask. I'm telling you, I question it myself over and over again. Where the boys had shop and turn your head and cough. Remember that class? Turn your head and cough.
Yeah.
And then we had sewing and economics and how to cook and how to keep a smile on our face when our husbands come home. It's such a different time now. This is something that needs to be taught just as impactful as financial literacy in all homes.
Absolutely.
And they are shouting out now, and I truly believe it. My grandson takes financial literacy. He just got straight A's and A's, Ewing High running back. Okay. I just feel like financial literacy is one of them.
Wait, time out. He took financial literacy.
Yeah, he's in 11th grade at Ewing High.
Yeah, but you ran that whole one complete sentence. So let's unpack that.
Oh, sorry. I tend to do that
because you made it sound like he did financial literacy and he's a running back.
Oh, yeah. He's a running back for Ewing High. Okay. And he took financial literacy. I'm sorry. Let me separate those two. But this young man also knows he's well-read.
Yes.
He reads Malcolm X. He's read all my books. He's an entrepreneur. He sells his own popcorn, different flavors.
Yes.
And he can cook.
Yes.
So
yes.
When you ask a question about how it was 20 years ago or maybe even 40 years ago when the girls had home ec and the boys had shop, Kevin, these are classes that seem very basic.
Yeah.
These are the things that we were taught in the home. How do we iron? Yeah. Let me show you how to iron. You had an older sibling teaching you how to iron, or your parents taught you how to iron correctly. Make sure the crease is in there. Remember the crease? You had to make sure the crease was in there.
Yeah.
But nowadays, these children don't iron. They don't wash their own clothes. they need guidance and examples.
Yes.
In the home and at school. And if you are somebody who lives in a home where you see a child turning on the burner but doesn't really know how to cook, you're going to stand there and watch where you're going to get your house burned down, right?
Yeah, right.
These are things that are fundamental. It just seems so very basic to me because homes aren't what they were. Yes. One of the books I wrote about, it's a young lady. Her name is Mecca Kai Funderburg. Mm-hmm. That's my character, Mecca Kai Funderburg. Gotcha. And Mecca Kai is satisfied with whatever goes on. The book is called For Now. Yes. So we have, we'll just wash the white clothes for now, or we'll just duct tape this for now, gotcha. Or I'll just pay $50 on this bill for now. Gotcha. We got to get past our for now stage and get to our do it all stage. Gotcha. So if we have young ladies, my mother had 5 girls, 5 daughters. So there was a time when we all got together and had deep conversations about what goes on in the world. There was a time when we sat and learned how to iron and sew and stitch and fix this for now. Yes. Okay. These young men are learning financial literacy. They also need to learn how to take care of themselves. Yes. My brother was a haberdasher. He was a tailor, for lack of a better word, a male seamstress. He could stitch you up. When girls would go out on the runway, the models go out on the runway, he was the one sewing buttons on right quick or fixing this right quick. He's a man. Yeah. It's a woman-dominated field. But I also have been taught to arc weld, fix cars, change my oil, change my tire, change my spark plug. I don't need a man to help me to do that. Yes. My husband took culinary classes. He could bake a cake better than I can. He makes macaroni and cheese better than I can, which is really hard for me to say right now. Yeah. So gender roles, traditional gender roles are out the window. Yes, we should be learning financial literacy, but we should also be learning the preventive for domestic violence. Yes. And how to keep it, kindergarten, keep your hands to yourself. Remember that? Yeah. How come it didn't transfer over after high school?
Well, after you get out of kindergarten, they don't teach it anymore.
Yeah. Keep your hands to yourself. Yeah. It's so vital, or you're going to get a charge and go to jail. Yeah, Hello.
Or maintain your own personal space.
There you go. Maintain your own personal space. Yeah. And if you have a mate, this is what he's not supposed to be doing to you. This is what she's not supposed to be doing to you.
Yeah. But we don't continue that. Yeah.
It's fundamentally and basically, it's very basic, these things. These things are very basic, but we're not teaching our youth to do this. Yeah. That's why they have simple charges like domestic violence, and they think, oh, this is not going to keep me from getting a job. Oh, yes, it will.
Absolutely. Nowadays, it will, yeah.
Oh, yes, it will. Yeah. I know at least 5 girls that have domestic violence charges because they want to break windows and bust windshields and slash tires. And I was so there.
Wait, hold on. But they were doing that for their boyfriend, right?
Oh, yeah. They got domestic violence charges.
Oh, man.
They think it does not just apply to men. Well, it does not just apply to men.
Listen, I had a woman bust my window, right? Mm-hmm. And I never brought her up on domestic charges. You know, they just said, you know the urban legend. If she broke your window, you must be a good lover.
Yeah. but Kevin, there's so much stigma around men not reporting.
No. In full disclosure, though, but I did have another young lady who I did have to get a restraining order against because she got too carried away. And maybe I'm going to birth a book from that. But I'm just saying, I never felt threatened, though. You know.
Is it the time you wrote that book? I'm telling you, that could have been the traumatic event Tona's talking about. That could have been the traumatic event. It's an individual thing. See, you laughing about it now, but somebody really did get hit. Yeah. And somebody really did wanted to report it, and it was stigma around it because you gonna call the cops on a girl? Look at you calling the cops on a girl, you little sissy. The stigma has to go.
I had no stigma around it. I just knew that if I caught her, I was gonna break her neck, and I didn't want her to.
There you go.
So I said, let me report her because reporting her will save her own life.
Yeah, keep a log of everything that they save her own life. That's the one way to look at it.
Because she was, everywhere I was going for a hot minute, she was stalking me. I'm like, man, I look up, she's behind my car. I'm trying to go to work. I'm like, what?
I understand. Behind the car.
Yeah.
And We laugh about it, but it's true. It's true. I wrote a book about stalking, heart condition. My number one seller is heart condition, and that's about stalking. She's physically being stalked for her physical heart. You just never know the motivation behind why somebody's stalking you.
And for a minute, as a man, you like,
as a man?
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, man, I got that good stuff. That right. Yeah.
For about a minute, then you start realizing, Yeah, it makes you not desire to start a new relationship because she will be there.
What? That happened. That happened too. You know.
You hear the music?
Oh,
I mean, you're sitting there trying to have dinner. You're sitting there trying to have dinner, and somebody's standing in your window looking at you.
Yeah, you like, wait. You know.
No less to matter.
Exactly,
no less to matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, it feels good at first. I must still got it. I must really got it. But then you think back to this person really needs help.
Exactly.
They have a mental illness because they're still stalking me. And do they think they're going to get me back after this?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
They're making movies about it now.
Yeah, you know, the best one that comes to my mind, only because I just saw it 2 nights ago, was Acrimony.
Acrimony.
Yeah, so Acrimony is
angry black woman, and they got the right person to play it.
Yeah, Taraji. So what happened was, she was down with this dude for the longest time, and he just wanted to build this self-sustaining battery, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he I don't think he was abusive. He just was in this entrepreneurial vein. He could never get a chance. His chance. And so when he got his chance, she had allowed her sisters to talk bad about him. So she had kicked him out. He went back to his first girlfriend, and she worked for this company. She put him down. Next thing you know it.
Yep. All those years,
the battery hit. He paid her back for everything, right? And
was not satisfied.
But she wasn't satisfied. She's like, I'm supposed to have the dress. I'm supposed to have the house.
And my name is supposed to be on that boat, right?
Yeah. I was like, whoa, that was probably one of Tyler Perry's better works.
That was one of his better works. I really appreciate that one, and I could see it as a book. I tend to be a reader rather than watch movies, but I had to watch Acrimony because that's my girl.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Kevin, if he wrote this book, right? If he wrote Acrimony, and the character that Taraji was playing had gotten to know more of herself before dating that man,
yes,
I don't think she would have dated him. And I think it would have been over after that first thing. Remember, she caught him.
Yeah.
She caught him.
At the
she caught him with the same girl. Yep, with the same girl.
At the trailer.
Same girl he ended up marrying. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So his baby, first of all, was that machine.
Yeah.
Her baby was him.
Yeah.
It says so much. It's so much. Now, if I watched this 25 years ago, I'm telling you, I was a whole other person.
Yeah.
My mindset was not healthy.
Yeah.
If sick people keep watching Tyler Perry, I'm hoping that it wakes them up, because he's doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to wake you up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wake you up, because these things that happened to me and the experiences that I've had contributed to these books and the sick mind that I did have at that time.
Yes.
Now, in Acrimony, the best part about Acrimony was that she had a support system. Her sisters and her sister's husbands was kind of a support system. And they were like, why you, what do you call it? Slumming it. Why you slumming it? Because they were from a well-off family and they had a house. But she put that woman put her mother's house up to save the man.
I get that part, right? But the thing was, the sisters, as she later shared, the sisters were doing their own personal projection. They weren't happy in their own lives, so they figured, if I'm not happy in my life, I'm gonna make sure that my sister's not happy in hers, right?
That was their pet project. That was their pet project. They had no lives, and then it comes out at the end that the men were no good. The men that they were. I said, this sounds like Trenton. It certainly sounds like Trenton.
Yeah. So.
But remember, because it was a mandated counseling session she had to have.
Yeah. But so.
And when she went to tell the story, they couldn't pick nobody but Taraji, maybe Shaka Khan, to do this part. I'm telling you, the look on her face was very hurt. She was more than hurt. More than hurt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so it wasn't even acting. She was bringing.
She'd been through something, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There it is.
She had been through something. Like I don't even need to search for this attitude.
I don't even need this. Right there it is. This character is too close to home.
Exactly.
And she probably told him, you know, Paul, I don't know if I'm able to do this. Yeah. I'm not diminishing her acting skills by any means, but she had to have gone through something.
Yeah,
she had to have gone through something similar. And I'm gonna tell you, there you go. I sit there. I would love to hear an interview about acrimony by her. And there's another one. Keisha Cole had an album out. Every Last Song fed me during that time. Every last song fed me to go back. I kept trying to go back every time I hear the first note. Yes. Of I forgot the name of the album, but Keisha Cole was singing, and Mary J. Blige, both of them sing things that hit directly to the heart. Yes. Where I'm like, you know what? I can't listen to secular music no more.
Got you.
It brings me back. It brings me back where I can actually feel the gun in my hand.
Wow.
What good would it do to go hurt my abuser now?
Yeah.
I wish him all the best. I wish him all the best.
well, because remember now, you know this already. You've got to have forgiveness if you want to make better of yourself and have a better life.
And heal. Right? And heal.
Yeah.
I know I'm 100% healed because I'm actually saying that on your show. That I wish him the best.
Yes.
When you hear with traumatic ears.
Yes.
Your triggers here.
Yes.
Your triggers is what you don't hear it. Your triggers hear it. But I know that I do wish him the best. You know, and it happened, and I'll pray for you from over here. You just stay over there. Yeah. Anybody who sees the size of my husband will stay over there. But being that my life is a big teachable moment.
Yes.
In 55 years, I want to share everything through my books with people so that they understand, yes, I have a big imagination and I build up my characters with a lot of colorful adjectives to describe them, but it's a little bit of me in all those books.
Yes.
It's a little bit of me in all those books because had I started my writing career 25 years ago, I would have nothing to write.
Got you.
I would have nothing to write. So these experiences I had right here in Trenton and things I've seen and observed are the things that we need to break away, like the generational curses.
Now, when you mention from your book to the young ladies, the young men, do they understand some of the landmarks in Trenton? Do they know where they are?
All of them.
Okay, good.
All of them. I mentioned, San Hecan and Hermitage and Faircrest Park and the swings and the color of this and the trees. I describe my descriptions. Look, I'm not good at a lot of things. I can't go climb this telephone pole and turn your cable on, but I can write my behind off. Gotcha. And what I, through the, I'm going to use this as the platform right here. The foundation of my faith propelled me in this gift.
Yes.
In this gift. Yes. So I ain't giving myself this gift, clearly, but I know that I can write.
Now,
I know that I can write.
I got to ask this question. While you were going through this trauma, this violence, right? This abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think that God had forsaken you?
No, I did not. I always had hope. Okay. I always had hope. Okay. It's just that the biggest difference between me now and me then, Kevin, is that I have an actual relationship with my Father who created me.
Yes. So then hold that now. Hold that thought, because I want to unpack that. So when I asked that of you earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said that you knew that God had not forsaken you, but you also know that you didn't have a relationship with Him.
Right, I didn't.
When did you begin to have a relationship with Him, and then how did you know you had a relationship with Him?
Well, I'm gonna put it this way, because this will tell you, this is 13 years that have passed.
Yes.
So in 1992, I was, that's when 93 rather, I met the guy, and it was more important for me to be satisfied by things that the world offered.
Yes.
Okay. Now, 13 years later, I met a man who helped me to understand that going to church has nothing to do with having a relationship with your father.
Yes.
You can have a relationship with your father where you sit.
Yes.
And once I started feeding that, everything fell into place.
Got you.
The man, the house, the things people have, the deepest desires of your heart, and
Yes.
how I wanted to enlarge this territory of reaching people, all came together because my faith propelled it.
Yes.
Whereas I didn't have a relationship before. It was just me blindly living, and I had this beautiful body and this beautiful face, and I'm trying to satisfy that instead of building a relationship with my father.
Now,
And once that platform came about, there's no stopping me. It's sky's the limit.
when you're in your workshops, right?
Yeah.
Do you share with the women at the workshop about developing your relationship with your Heavenly Father?
I do, because it's the only thing that works. It's the only.
And how do they respond to that? Do many of them say, like, we don't have one, or I have one? How do they respond to that?
One thing they always say is, you're right. Because one thing we do neglect is our spiritual health.
And
we tend to neglect our spirit because the world is a hard place to be.
Yes.
And competition among young women is one of the problems.
Yes.
We're not crabs in a barrel, Kevin.
Yes.
We don't have to compete with one another. We could actually support one another.
Yes.
And if you keep your focus, if you keep your focus on him, he'll ensure that he sends you the right people to support you.
Yes.
He'll send the right people to surround you with protection. He'll give you people who will uplift you, and it all magnifies him.
Yes.
Because he sends them. Some people pray for the ability to discern, because my trust factor was way off when I was younger.
I can imagine.
It was way off. That meter was, okay, I trust you. I was very naive, which is why I got into some of the things that I got into. You see what I'm saying? So the best part about having a relationship with your father is he won't steer you wrong into these places. Now, you do have to have experiences that'll teach you who to trust and how, but you kind of learn that on the playground.
Yes.
You learn that on the playground. You find out, you want to know where your child is right now, go watch him on the playground. You'll see right where in the food chain he lies.
Gotcha.
Is he a sucker or is he a leader?
Yes, sir.
Is he a follower? Or go to the playground and watch your kids.
Yes.
Don't even let them know you're there.
Wow.
Because you'll see how kids interact with each other and where their trust factor is.
Yes.
They're going to follow the most popular one, or are they the most popular one?
Yes.
So that's basically what I write about. You have to feed your kids the love they need to understand their own self-esteem.
Yes.
Don't ridicule them.
Yes.
Don't ridicule them. If they have an interest, support that interest.
Yes.
Financially. And if they play a little piano, go and buy one. Go and try to get one.
Yes.
Go and get a used one if you have to, because you have to support whatever it is their interest is, because that whatever they're interested in is probably the gift that God gave them.
Yes.
And it's probably if they can sketch very, very well and you ain't buying them no paper, how are you being supportive?
Yes.
Get them some paper, get them a little sheet, get them some colored pencils. This might be what sustains him when he grows up. He might want to go to school for that. He might want to pursue that,
Yes.
even if they have 5 different interests. You understand what I'm saying? So support that interest. And even if they let it go for a little while through high school, because that's what I did.
Okay.
I was winning all these spelling bees and the Westinghouse Awards. And I said, okay, right now it's all about the drill team and boys and skirts and, shopping and shoes. But it was a gift that God gave. And now how do you get 17 books in 5 years?
Yes.
Because what happens is he gives you double for your pleasure.
Yes.
It was a desire I had a long time ago to write. How am I not writing? Did you know that Color Purple was written while Alice Walker was still in college?
I did not know that.
As mature as that book was, and you can tell through the movie, it's very, sometimes you'll see a movie and it's not like the book, but the book is a lot like the movie. To have that age group write a story like that,
yes.
Whew, imagine what her eyes have seen.
Yeah.
So I know I have a lot more to write. I have 5 sisters. My sister told me, why didn't you make all of these books into one gigantic novel? Because it's different broken characters. And I said, you know what? I got about 8 more books in my head, so it'll be an awful big book. It'll be an awfully big book.
Now,
so I have to go by what subject matter comes to me.
Now, speaking of your sisters, when they read their book, when they read your books, do they see themselves sometimes in the characters of the book?
I can't speak to that because we haven't talked about it.
Okay.
They have supported me and they're on their shelves, but time is a factor with adults and sometimes they don't get to read them. And I have a brother who also admitted to me I only read one.
Gotcha.
So I understand, life is life and life is happening while life is happening. So when they do read the books, they'll actually know which parts are true and which parts are fiction.
Yeah.
Or I remember that.
Yeah.
But most of the people who read my books, and they're my mentors, will come back to me with feedback. And that's the best thing you could do for an author is come back with feedback to let them know, because iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And you could have went this way, you could have went that way, and here's where you could need improvement.
Yes.
And I need that. I really do need that. So like I said, I see the difference from when I was first writing to writing now. And it's such a big difference. It's a vast difference in, first of all, my mindset and where the Lord has taken me from to where I am now. But I at first started writing these things because it helped. It was therapeutic for me too. But it turns out it was therapeutic for other people too because they're so relatable.
Yeah.
And so people will call me and say, you know what, this is so me. I wrote a book about Black is Enough at the time when that Orange thing was in the office.
Orange thing? What's that?
I can't get political, but
Gotcha.
when we had a president, we did not vote for in Austin.
Yeah, gotcha.
And the young character in the book has vitiligo, so she's got that beautiful black canvas with spots all over, and she has to wake up in that skin every day. She's got vitiligo.
Yes.
So it's like we can't change it. Oh, I think I'll be orange today. I think I'll be blue today. But she's also watching, Kevin, the increase of race relations in America through law enforcement and like I said, the thing in the office. And it's kind of pissing her off.
Yes.
But this is a genuinely sweet-spirited girl who aspires to be a veterinarian. Sorry about my voice. I was screaming last night.
Were you screaming? You was celebrating?
Basketball.
Basketball. Okay.
I lost my voice, sorry. But this character says to me, now right now they're paying exotic looking people top dollar to be models. They're paying them top dollar.
Yeah.
Whereas 10 years ago, you couldn't even walk up to them, Kevin, and say, you got change for $1. They think it's leprosy. They think it's contagious. Even if you have like freckles, they hesitate to approach you. This is their skin. This is your skin. This is my skin. We can't change it. So I just felt like the character, I needed her to be a sweet-spirited character. She aspires to be a veterinarian, but she gets ridiculed quite often because she's been called everything, like the cow with the spots, things with spots. But it does not stop her she's so determined to get what she wants to get out of life and to be sweet to people. And her boss, she works at a veterinary office with pets.
Yes.
And her boss gives her the final decision whether to euthanize a pet or not, because she's so sweet that she could actually love it back to life. And that's one of my favorite books. It's one of my favorite books because it doesn't matter what she looks like. It's her heart that counts.
Yes.
I wish everybody could look at each other like that instead of ridiculing. Remember, there was a time people used to say, oh, she cute to be dark skinned.
Yeah.
I hated that. Oh, I hate it. Like, what? Who raised you? I want people to see the spirit of each other, the energy. See the energy. Don't look at what they got on. That's why I don't put too much emphasis in my books on Chanel and red bottoms and all these things don't matter.
Yeah.
It's just temporary gratification.
Yeah.
It's just temporary gratification. Yeah.
And oftentimes, right, we pay full freight for that.
Yep.
And we don't
To
have
impress
to.
who? To impress who?
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. My brother, Kippy, he wore polo Ralph Lauren shirts, the polo shirts, every single day. Mm-hmm. But he got them from the secondhand store.
Yeah. Well, come on now. Let me tell you something.
He would tell you. Yeah, he would tell you.
We were talking about. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about that, right? And my mother, she's always been a senior citizen, so we would go to the red, white, and blue store, right?
There you go, red, white, and blue.
On Wednesdays after they bring in a new shipment of clothes, shirts.
He worked there.
I was rocking $75, $85 shirts, right?
There you go.
And because my mother went on a Wednesday, got them shirts for $1.
Guys, $1 because they're trying to get rid of them and they're brand new. Nobody ever worn before.
Yeah.
They came from the stores that oversell, surplus.
But they were slightly used, but in my size. But they were Hugo Boss, all the big names. It cost me more to have them laundered than to buy them.
Yes, brand new to you. It cost them more to get them cleaned.
I'm like, yo, and then I had this one.
Looking fly.
I had this one young lady. I said to her, she wanted to get into clothing, right? And I said, let's go all the way upscale. She said, what do you mean, Mr. Kevin? I said, listen, I'm going to take you to several consignment shops up in
There you go.
And you can get you can get like authentic stuff because they carry the tag too. But
yes, they do.
You can get it like for 25%.
Yep.
And so she
if you're going to do it,
Her and her sister started doing that. And then I circled back around and she says she wanted to get into bags. And I said, if you go to these stores, they've got the same bags. You can get them for 20, 75% off. They've got the authentic label, right? And I said, and what you can do is you can rent the bag out.
You can rent the bag out. Can you imagine?
You can rent the bag because some of these bags are like $30,000, $40,000, and some of our sisters are trying to bust their behind to get this bag.
I deserve it.
No.
No, you're sending Ralph Lauren's kids to school is what you're doing. What you need to do, if you can still look stylish and be and present well at interviews with a nice suit on, it does not have to be. Yeah, you know what name is on the inside of it.
Exactly.
But want to pay for them financial literacy classes or go back to school. I went back to school at 50.
Yeah,
small business management. I just graduated, a year ago.
Okay, congratulations,
Thank you. Yep, in my second degree.
Okay.
And I'm really excited that I didn't take the money. I mean, I could have, took that money and got me some really nice stuff. But why?
Yeah.
Like, I'm really not trying to send Gucci's kids to their little summer vacation trips and shoes and get what they need because I'm spending money on that label.
Yeah.
So if I want to look nice, yes, I can go to a really good consignment shop and really look good.
Yeah.
I am no fashionista. Anybody will tell you that. But I am no fashionista. I just want to be comfortable. I don't walk well, because I spent all those years in a wheelchair. So I'm not sure-footed. So the shoes I wear absolutely have to be
comfortable.
Comfortable and warm. My feet are always cold. That's where most of the nerve damage is in my feet and my legs.
Yes.
So I need to be warm. I wear Uggs in the summertime.
Yeah,
why do I wear Uggs? Like, well, Uggs is name brand. I'm not saying I don't wear name brand. I'm saying I don't get them at the price that y'all paying for this stuff.
but you're a grown woman. You can afford to pay for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you're 18, 19, you shouldn't be thinking about, $400 or $500 pair of boots or whatever they may be.
Which was my point about Mecca Kai Thunderbird.
Exactly.
In my book, Mecca Kai, is a booster. She steals. She shoplifts. She steals little earrings and jewelry and stuff. But what she really, really is, and a lot of these girls out here that say, I get money, what they're doing is tricking, but they don't call it tricking anymore. And if I came in the house with $1,000 iPhone in a bag when I was younger, my mom would have said, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? And I would get knocked upside the head because she didn't get it for me. And I wasn't working, so where you get it from? They don't ask that question anymore, Kevin. They're just glad that they didn't have to. You know how much an iPhone really is? No 12-year-old without a job should have an iPhone.
Exactly.
You can say family plan all you want to, but they're not responsible enough. And then to each his own. I'm not a mother of a 12-year-old. I'm a grandmother of a 12-year-old, but I'm just letting you know. These things that we used to get knocked upside the head if we came in and said mommy was washing our clothes and found some expensive, lingerie or whatever in the washer and wonder, where did you get this from? But Makakai Funderburg gets things the 5-finger fast way, and her mother never would fix her mouth to ask her where she got it from. She's just happy that she didn't have to get it. But if I came in the house with an iPhone at 16 and she didn't buy it, I would have got knocked upside the head. Take it back where you got it from. Because she would automatically know I had to use what I had to get it.
Yes.
And right now they just don't care enough to. A lot of these parents don't care enough to even ask where they got that from. Absolutely. They know how much those bags cost. They know how much those bags cost. Your daughter was going overnight and she come in here with a Gucci bag. Nah, we got to have a longer conversation. We're going to have a longer conversation. So a lot of my characters, I'll build them up so that they could see that this world offers temporary gratification.
Yes.
So once you have a relationship with your father, he will provide with what you need, and anything you reach for will be there at the time that you need it. It will be there.
Now, with the time that we have left, give me a sense of all your books and what's next for you.
Well, this is a synopsis of what you're asking for.
Yes.
IreeSky was founded because, like I said, I was going to many funerals of people under 30.
Yes.
And if I think with the community's help, because we are a village and we need to care enough like it was in the past when somebody cared enough for me, I lived to be 55.
Yes.
These kids are dying at 20, 30. They're dying. Let's do something collectively and get them reading. If they read anything, they'll start building a self-esteem. They'll see themselves in the book. They'll see themselves in the future.
Yes.
They won't be quick to pick up a gun and go kill their brother who looks like him and have his mother, mourning forever, because it is a village. So what I am trying to do is bring these life skills incorporated with my books that I write about to have them read so that they could build up their own self-esteem and avoid these common urban pitfalls that we overlook, because we act like we don't see them no more.
Yes.
Why should we act like we don't see them no more? It's happening, and we all meet at funerals, and all of us are tired of saying, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes.
I'm sorry for your loss. It doesn't even sound genuine anymore.
Yes.
It doesn't even sound genuine because we forget about that family because we're already mourning the next family.
Yes.
I think that if they not just read my books, if we get them reading again, mandatory reading, where I could teach you, all of us could get together and teach each other, teach these young people about life skills and how to avoid these common urban pitfalls, I think it'll impact. I really do. I think it's not the above all be all answer to Trenton's problems, but I think it's a good start. Reading programs, not for youth and then they're 8 years old and you forget about the reading program. I'm talking about reading through high school into college. Reading. And I'm trying to incorporate my reading with life skills that already exist, and that's what I'm doing at IO. These other youth organizations, I've been sending them proposals, hoping they get on board with life skills and have me come in to facilitate. It doesn't have to be me, but it could be anybody, to just read a couple chapters to them and make the material exciting enough for them to want to finish reading it themselves, so they could see the choices and consequences before they make these decisions that they make. So basically that's it. That's what I'm trying to do.
No,
incorporate life skills.
I love it.
Yep.
Well, I think, man, we've covered so much, man. I enjoy laughing.
I enjoy laughing with you. Are you kidding? We two Hiltonians from back in the day. The football player and the cheerleader.
I don't know how much football I can play now.
Oh, you were at the game. You were at the game.
Let me ask this question though, Trish. So,
yes, sir.
As you're starting this business venture, right? Or as you were starting it, what were some of the challenges that you might have had?
Well, my first challenge was how to get the books in the hands and not pay Amazon.
Got you.
So me and my husband had gotten to a place where we wanted to support all Black. Any vendors we use, anything we use would be by, sold by Black hands.
Yes.
So feeding the culture, and that was very difficult for me to face because my books were coming from Amazon.
Yes.
So instead of pointing my customers to Amazon, I happened upon Mill Hill Park where you can go out and vend your own books. So I was buying my books in bulk and selling them, which worked for me.
Gotcha.
Even though I wasn't immediately embraced by trend, my books did very well in New Hope, Soulberry, Newark, Camden, Philly, Orange, but they weren't doing well here.
Yes.
But then when I went to Mill Hill, people started coming outside to get lunch.
Gotcha.
So that was one of the biggest challenges, was getting the exposure I needed to get the books read.
Gotcha.
So then I started doing stage plays, and that worked. But then when COVID happened, people had to go online to buy my books, and it was a slump. So I went back to school. And that was challenging because I didn't even know how to turn in the homework, because last time I went to school, you handed them a piece of paper.
Yeah. Now you got to push send.
Now you got to push send. So that was the most challenging, going for small business management. But after I accomplished that and got the degree for that, it made me feel good that I could actually, help somebody else turn in homework with my age. So right now we offer full editing.
Yes.
For people who want to self-publish. IreeSky offers consultation for people who already have a book, but they just need a little, help with editing. So that's consultation. And then we have proofreading where, the lead municipalities will come to me and say, I need these bills are going to be introduced to the Assembly and the Senate, and I just need you to proofread this. So I take my little red pen and fix stuff and give it back to them. Mm-hmm. Proofreading. Mm-hmm. And then tutoring. So, and that's all confidential. Tutoring basic English is basically going over the 8 parts of speech so that you could, to prepare you to write your book. So you might need a refresher in the 8 parts of speech, parts of English, basic sentence structure, noun, verb, relations, and full paragraph. And sometimes people say, well, is it there, or there? Which there do I use?
Yes.
So they just need like a refresher. So I offer adult tutoring to prepare you to write. And that's at minimal cost. It's only $50 for like the 90-minute session. But a lot of people have taken advantage of that because they're like, I do need a little help. I want to write this book, but I'm not confident enough in my English skills to do this. And so I stay with them and offer tutoring. But then what that propelled into was people who don't read at all. People who don't read at all were coming to me saying, look, I just want to know how to read. I want to stand up in church and read the scripture, but I can't. I'm too embarrassed. Mm-hmm. So I have tutoring. And most of my days are spent either editing or tutoring. Those are the services that are used the most.
Got you.
Yeah. So a lot of people, there's a lot of stigma around I can't read, Kevin. Mm-hmm. It's taboo, and people are ashamed, and they feel like a failure. But sometimes they come to me and say, look, just help me. And, I teach them how to read.
Gotcha, yes.
I teach them how to read, and they feel so much better. The confidence is there, and they feel like they have something to say, a valid point to make in their book, but they just don't have the confidence to write a book. I don't even know where to start.
Yes.
So I help them with their books.
And then
it's fruitful for me.
You do the editing and you come back and you help them with the marketing as well?
I don't help them with the marketing, but I do introduce them to people in the community down Eric and Donna down at Classics for their first book signing. Then I take them and have them interviewed by Jacques Howard or Yolanda or Ron or Free over at IMG. So I'm with you to a certain point till I feel like you can fly on your own.
Gotcha.
But as far as marketing, I suggest where they set up a website, if they have more than one, or they do these book signings, and grab your book off of Amazon, a box in bulk of your own books, and go out there and sell them. Mm-hmm. These pop-up shops and these vending events, I'm telling you, they're all over the place every weekend. So grab some of your books, get some of your books and go put the price on them and go vend the space. Rent the space and sell them. Mm-hmm. And so they don't need me anymore until they come back for their second book and they get a discount off of that.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. One of the people I edited for in California, I'm on her 6th book.
Okay.
And she trusts me because she keeps coming back. And I think that the greatest thing about repeat customers is that they learn more of me, and the bonding experience is often is awesome. I did Lakeisha Sutton's book. She's a globetrotter now. Mm-hmm. It made me feel good that I read her book first. Mm-hmm. I just put that post up on my page. Yes. The fact that Skip Bailey came to me, it was very humbling, and said, I want to do from the field to the stage. I already have 2 books, Trish. I know how this works, but I want you to do it. It's very humbling. It makes me feel good that he came to me.
Yes.
So, and there's other renowned people, in the area who had books done. And I'm so proud of them because they're ready to do their 3rd and 4th and 5th books.
Yes.
So I love that they trust me, and we have a bonding experience through the relationship of me doing their book, and I work very quickly. And I'm so proud of the ones that are up and coming out for 2023. So I try to only do 1 book at a time, Kevin, one book at a time, so that it could get my full attention. And I work 16-hour days if I'm not at Isles.
Got you.
So, yeah. And I'm not satisfied until they are.
Understood.
So my slogan is, isn't it time you wrote that book? Because people say, I can write a book about this and I can write a book about that. Some people don't realize as much as you could actually charge a consulting fee.
Yes.
For what you know in one area.
Yes.
To help people. And a lot of people are like, I did this for years. I never thought. Childcare. I know a lifelong babysitter. She's been babysitting all her life. She could actually take what she knows, put it in a book to help all babysitters. Mm-hmm. The Babysitter's Guide to this. She's been babysitting since she was 14 years old, and still that's all she does is babysitting.
Got you.
Some people cook. You could do a book about cooking.
Yes.
Don't underestimate what you know.
Yes.
So, isn't it time you wrote that book, Kevin? How long you been a community village leader here?
Listen, they keep asking me. I would say at least once a month, someone's always asked me about writing a book. I'm not sure if I'm ready. I think
there it is.
I think my passion is right here doing the podcast piece. I'm comfortable using that gift, right? I think I'm better, with the verbal.
You're better equipped to speak. Yeah. I'm a much better writer than I am a speaker.
Yeah,
But that we're being phased out because people are getting audio books and people are like, I wanted somebody to tell me the story while I'm on the treadmill. They want to. So I got to get into audio books. I'm the last person who has to say I got experience to everything. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I don't know everything. I would love somebody to reach out to me and say, let me do your audio book.
I wouldn't mind doing an audio book, but I wouldn't mind doing a book on quotes and tips, like do now kind of thing.
Nice.
So who knows? I may call you and say, hey, set that up for me, because I can do that and feel comfortable about that. But
I like your podcast. I really do. I enjoy listening to them, and I listen to them while I'm editing. So then they help me, pat the person on the back and reach out to them. And, I think it's a great platform. I just happen to I like the smell of a book. I like turning pages. I like putting the bookmark in right where I left off. I'm reading 4 books right now. There's one in each room. There's 2 in my bathroom.
Wow.
I'm a big reader. I like reading.
I do my best reading sometimes in the Oval Office too.
That's like the best place, right?
but in the summer, I must confess, in the summer, if I'm on the porch, I can read a book and have a cigar all the time, and I'm good.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
You're not even worried of how much time passes or how many cars pass, because I get so into a book and I get in the zone. Yeah. I sit in my backyard and.
Yeah, I have nowhere to go, so I'm old. I got nowhere to go.
Hey, I work here. I work right here. My office is right here.
Exactly. Where am I going?
I see clients right here in my home.
Yeah, where am I going? But listen.
I'm not going anywhere. I really enjoyed this. I did.
Oh, this was fun.
I feel like I'm just talking to you.
but that's the whole purpose of this podcast. I'm giving you the unabridged opportunity to share your story and for you to organically speak truth to who you are, right?
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. And so over time, we're not that 15-minute interview. We're not that 30-minute interview. You are what you are. So if it's an hour and a half to get the story out, let's take the time, an hour and a half to get the story out, because I want the listeners to understand who you are, so that when they meet you, when they engage you, they say, I got a better sense of who she is or who he is, right? Yeah, and it helps people get supported too. Yeah,
a lot of people don't know about me. It's not well advertised. I'm like the hood editor. So a lot of people are like, well, who did your book? I'm proud of the ladies that are coming out and the gentlemen who are coming out with brand new material and books. And I try to support as many as possible. I read really quickly. Yeah. I just bought Keisha Cox, Pastor Cox, Keisha Cox, First Lady. Yeah. I just bought her books and I read them the same night. I just love that everybody is. I think it's a platform by which everybody could benefit, not just from, a new stream of income, but for notoriety and leaving a legacy for their children. I think it's important.
Well, maybe you should do a writing and editing workshop. It maybe encourage other folks to tell their story.
I am really trying. I'm really trying. I want to get incorporated with a couple of these organizations, and we can do it together as a collaborative. I would really love to do a workshop on writing.
Yeah, well, but you know what? Sometimes you've got to start without them, and let them jump on once you got the momentum. It's nothing like come on out, bring your favorite beverage, right? And we're just going to sketch out the first chapter of your book.
Okay. And, that's not a bad idea. I appreciate it.
And you charge $15-$20 per person, right?
That's not bad either. And call up Jackie and say, Jackie, I need your conservatory room for about 2 hours. Yeah. That would be supportive of her, and that would be supportive of me and whoever comes. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
You grow it organically, right?
Mm-hmm. And where the need is, and the need is here.
And then when the big boys come and want to put their stamp of approval on it, like, okay, you know what? It used to be $25. Now it's $100 per person. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But I sure appreciate the input, and it's not maybe I'll start that,
Yeah.
It's called Tyler Perry. Remember you did acrimony? Well, here I am. I want some of these books to be made into movies.
or Trish, you do it on Zoom. You use Cash App, right? And the women can send you $25 for 2 hours. You sit there with their favorite beverage, and you take them through. I'm going to show you how to write the first chapter of your book.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? It's really not bad. That's not bad.
And you can do that on Zoom, so they can be anywhere they need to be.
They could be anywhere where they could be where they at.
They can be where they at. You know what I'm saying? And they can be as they say, be right behind that preposition.
Right behind the preposition. I love it. There's so many ways I could extend IreeSky. Right now it's IreeSky Fiction and Editing, and those classes would be a big plus. We do group where we sit around and talk about it, but I need for everybody to have a terminal in front of them, and Zoom is not a bad idea to and charge minimal. Like I said, money is not the not. It's a motivator. It's a motivator, but it's not the purpose of IreeSky. It's actually
I get that. I was just trying to use.
But it would be.
Just another.
But it's a nice incentive.
I was just suggesting another medium for you. That's all. Just suggesting another medium. That's all. Yeah.
I am definitely considering it, and I appreciate you saying it, because when the time comes, I would want to do that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. Just let me knock your first chapter out, and you take it from there.
Yeah. And here's the thing, though, Trish. As I always say, I'm leaving the platform open to you. If you've had a wonderful experience, right, share that with others. Share that with others, so others will reach out to me. I would love to capture their story as well, right?
I got about 100 people off the top of my head. I'm sending you.
Hey, listen, we are ready, right? We are.
Yeah, they've been good to me. They've been good to me. So it's a definite platform that I would suggest. And I'm going. When I get off the phone with you, I'm actually going to call and say, oh, you got to call them. You got to call them.
Yeah. Only if I did you right. Only if I did you right.
You did me right. I loved it. Are you? We still on the phone, ain't we? We are still on the phone. I'm getting my voice back now.
You're getting strong again. All right.
I'm getting strong again. It gave me a little boost there, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because I feel like I'm talking to an old friend, and they would like that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is it okay what do I do? Give them your email, or how do I even have people reach out to you?
Listen, you have my email address, or you have my cell phone. I prefer my cell phone. Tell them to text me.
Okay.
And then I'll take it from there, right? I'll take it.
You got it.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Trish,
yes.
I want to wish you nothing but success, right?
Thank you.
Listen, I thank you for sharing all that you shared, because this was important. And once this episode drops, I want to make sure that you're in touch with Tona, and you're also in touch with Kimberly.
Oh, absolutely. She sends me something every morning to inspire me. Okay, so I love that about her, and I would love to meet Kimberly in D.C.
Yes.
Right. So, folks, make sure you reach out to IreeSky.com, IreeSky.com, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
Don't do that now. What I want you to do is, when you send, I'm going to text you, I want you to send me your headshot and your bio. So in your bio, list all the places where people can reach you, so that when we release the episode, they'll see all that and they can just click on it and get down.
Oh, it's already there. I got you.
All right.
Get off the phone. Thanks, bro.
Trish, I hope to see you soon at Isles and see you work your magic.
Oh, you definitely. I hope you come through. I really love it.
Right.
I love to see your eyes light up.
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Let's stay connected. Let's talk and text in a minute.
Okay. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That concludes another episode of The Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email kevin@minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.